Hello. How is everyone doing? Hi. Can you believe it's only Friday? Happy Friday to you, Science. Thank you for coming by. Yeah, I'm looking forward to a nice long stream today. We'll have to see if my flight simulator is coming up. It put up a message saying that it was couldn't sync to the cloud, whatever that means. I know what it means, obviously. But I think the cloud is having issues, which is not a message I've seen before. It is currently booting here. Anyway, we'll see what happens. If we can't get into 2024, we'll try to get into 2020, which is something that is possible. That they're not the same in the back end. But it seems to be booting now, so I'll have to see if it gets past here. Then I'll let you know. Without crashing or going. It's been having some technical issues recently. Anyway, but we're just starting up the stream here, just getting going. I haven't even introduced my icy cold glass of Diet Coke yet. We'll know if I go to the marketplace and it knows who I am. Okay, it just said Kench909 on the upper right. But I want to see here is my marketplace. This looks like it's fine. The marketplace and my library should show all my stuff, right? I just want to make sure it's all still here, nothing missing. Yeah, this is all good, I think. These are all things I don't have enabled. Then where's my enabled things? Right? Or is it just, did it disable everything? No, these are things I already had disabled, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what I wanted to do today. I was thinking a lot about, the issue yesterday of not being able to find the wipers. Not be able to find the wipers on the 737, and eventually I went and did some research and went back in the game and found them, and I was like, it was a classic example of video game streamer blindness, which is what I like to say is, oh yeah, by the way, here's the beautiful blue Bluetooth controller. What that is it's a thing that happens to streamers who are playing pretty much any game. And it's where something that's right in front of your face you don't see because you're looking for things around the edges. For example, you're playing a game, a medieval, RPG, and there's a room up ahead or kind of an area that you need to explore. So you go in and you look around and you start examining the walls of the room and going around going around all the walls, the edge areas of the room, looking for stuff like treasures or potions and things that you can use to craft things. And then you find the exit, but you're like, you know what? I heard there was a treasure, a treasure box in here that had a really powerful weapon that you needed at the beginning of the game. I'm gonna keep looking until I find it. So you keep circling around the outside, and they finally get tired, and then you leave, and later you realize you didn't look in the middle of the room, which is where it was. In other words, you missed kind of the most obvious spot, and that's exactly what happened. I'll show you in a minute, which is why I want to show you. And if you looked at the VOD yesterday, you look at today's, you'll see what I mean. But just for fun, we're going to go back into the 737, and by fun I mean torture, slow torture. We are going to change it. It's configured as Korean Airlines, but because we have so many choices, let's pick a different paint job. And we're going to have to find some place where it's raining. It's raining up at let's do Alaska Airlines. That seems like a real common one. It's got the dude on the back. There he is. I've flown Alaska many times on a 737. All right, so we're gonna be flying out of it's real rainy up here. It's real rainy up here. Yeah, let's fly out of Renton Municipal. It's got plenty of room. Or even SeaTac, you know what I mean? Looks like it's raining over at SeaTac. But if it's not, we're going to change it. I want it to be raining so that we can actually operate the windshield wipers. But once again, we are going to cold start the plane, which takes a long time. We'll go through the checklist, of course, but it still takes a long time to cold start, as it should. It's a very realistic simulation of a modern Boeing 737 MAX. I hope it's raining up here, but if not, we can adjust the weather. I want it to be raining so we can actually observe the effects of the windshield wipers, because I think they're modeled very realistically. I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, at least I figured out how to turn them on. Okay, I don't know if it's actually raining, but it looks pretty dark. Well, we'll figure that out in a second. We won't know from here. Let me just check this area here. There's your Boeing 737 Alaska Airlines. Very nice. Yeah, it's not raining. But that's okay. I can mess with that, right? We can check the weather. Let me just check what the weather is. I'm sure it's live weather. Live weather, but if I turn that off and go precipitation, right? Would I have to set that over to there? Maybe it takes a while to come in. Let's see, it's showing sunny. Yeah, I don't know why it's not giving me my other settings. Yeah, I don't know any of this, what this thing is doing here. That make precipitation. I guess, yeah, this is interesting. This is not what we've had before. Live weather. This is showing there. Weather the past 24 hours. This is interesting because normally when I select live weather, it doesn't give me these choices. It gives me the presets. I don't know how to get to the presets. None of these buttons do anything. None of these buttons do anything. Okay. Show 3D thermal is not what I want. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of random. I'm not super happy about that. Oof. I wonder if there's anybody in the world who knows what the issue is I'm having right here. And the issue is that when you have live weather off, it's showing the actual weather, which is cloudy, but I want it to be rainy. We could go somewhere where there's rainy, and I think we're going to have to, but I was hoping we could change the live weather to those presets. Okay, there's the presets. Why wasn't there before? Because what I want is rain preset, and that just randomly wasn't there. All right, that's what I was expecting. This is called the rain preset, which is what I'm looking for. Oh, our tail is in there thing. Hold on a second. There we go. There we go. Move someplace where we can start this plane. All right, that's good enough. All right, it's raining. You can see heavy rain on the inside. By the way, just the spoiler alert, here's where you start the engines. These buttons are the left wiper selector and right wiper selector, which I never hovered over. I checked every single one of these knobs up here. Every single one of the, I think there's about 70 of these knobs that actually do things. But never once did I check kind of the obvious ones. I read up and it said, "Oh well, they're in a section which either the pilot can operate," which means I knew they had to be in the middle, and it said in the overhead panel. Well, I had enough clues, and then I immediately was able to find them. They're right in front of your face. So anyway, let's not get into it too much. But yeah, after I saw that, I was like, yeah, we have to see how bad I did at finding. Okay, we're gonna start up this plane. We need the checklists. Okay, actually, we'll bring these up here. It makes it easier. Aircraft checklists. Let's assume that pre-flight has been accomplished. So let's check all these off. That we've checked everything from the outside of the plane. That's fine. The preliminary pre-flight. Okay, master switch on. This time, by the way, I know that we have to have standby power. That's not optional, right? Standby power must be on and guarded. Okay. External power, it says off available. That also must be on to start the plane successfully. So that's on. It flicks back, but it's on. Okay. These going. We'll be off soon. Okay. IRS mode is set to nav for both. Very good. Anti-collision lights are off. Hydraulic pumps are on. Electrical hydraulic pumps are off. Very good. Fuel pumps are all off. Trim air is on. Isolation valve open. It is open. Recirculation fans auto. Engine bleed air switch is off. There's two of those, right? Yeah, they're both off. All right, we're getting ready to start the engine. Fuel quantity, that's, I'm sure we have fuel on board. That's fine. Cruise altitude set. Landing altitude set. We don't really need those, but there's there. Fasten seatbelt sign should be on auto, right? It's on auto. It doesn't matter if we're starting the engines, though. We're going through the checklist pretty fast. Okay, can I get this to move down here? Altimeter barometer. We'll set that later. Left alt fuel pump. Now, this is the pump you need to get the APU on. The APU switch, that's here. We're going to put that in start, and okay, on and then start. And I think you have to hold this. Yeah, once I saw where they are, you see them right here in the picture, right above where they are. It says left wiper, international low high. Oh, and when we get the engine started, I'll turn them right on. Okay, APO should be starting. In fact, you can see right now they're off, right? Here. Okay, and if I turn the left one on, we can turn them on because we're on battery. That's intermittent. You can turn this one on intermittent. This is on full. It's just like a car wiper, right? And this is on, and then there's a fast mode, high and medium. We'll turn them on intermittent from now. We'll leave them on intermittent from now, but we're going to turn them on a little higher later. Okay, gen switches, APU generator switches should be on. But you see, I don't think the APU is successfully starting up. I think there's a bug. Because these lights should be coming on, but that's fine. We should have external power. Let's find out. So, APU gen switches are on, but I didn't really see these should be lighting up if we get any power. APU bleed, and so I think there's a bug related to the APU. But we'll see. Okay, so pre-flight, flight directors. Let's quickly do these. Off, auto throttle, off. Gear down, speed brakes down, right? No, actually, speed brakes down. There we go. Speed brakes down, throttles close, engine start levers cut off, perfect. Parking brake set, of course. Yaw damper, is that on or off? Yaw damper should be on, perfect. We're ready to try starting the engines. Let's see if they'll start this time. Okay, electrical system hydraulic. On. We'll turn both of these on. Fuel pumps on. All the rest of the fuel pumps should be turned on. Now they're all on. External power off, but I'm not going to do that yet. Anti-collision lights should be on, indicating you're starting the thing. Position lights steady. Left and right packs, I don't even know what those are. Should be off. They're off. Oh, air conditioning, right? Okay, the air conditioning is turned off. Okay, select the right to start the right engine. Right engine start switch to ground. Done. Then you have to go switch this to idle. And if we have power, we should see the engine starting up. Let's just see if anything's spinning. Nope, the same thing. Nothing is spinning. Even though we did all the correct procedures. Let me try this again, the power issue. Okay, go up here, look up here. And set both these to grid. We should have external power, right? All these are on. Do the generators have to be switched on again? Does that do anything? No. Boy, I'm really having trouble acing the starting procedure of this plane. Eventually, we seem to get it figured out. In fact, is it moving at all? I don't think it is. Oh, wait a minute. It says 1% on engine 2. So it could take a while for these things to start spinning up. But I'm not 100% sure. do I have to do this? Master caution. Yeah, 2%. I think that's maybe how long it takes these engines to start spinning up. Yeah, it is. It's starting to spit up low there. You can see it going. That's as close as we can get. But yeah, the engine is spinning up. Okay, I did something right for a change. Well, I don't know exactly right. It just, these are engines that take their time. And it takes about a minute for this to spin up to 25%, which is when it's effectively been started. But the reason why I really like the effects of the rain, again, hopefully we still have a lot of rain, right? Yeah, we still got rain. A lot of rain coming down here. And we'll be able to hopefully see as we get going how the windshield wipers work. Because yeah, we were really having trouble seeing out the front window. It is really, the rain is really causing some lags. All right, let's see how our engine's doing. It's spinning up to, it's at 20%, so it's almost, yeah, we're the other issues, getting some severe slowdowns on my game. It may be related to Seattle. It might, I don't know what it is. We'll figure it out. Okay, we're at 20%. Yeah, it's slowing down too. Let me see what my let's see what my dude, that should be here. Let me put this up here so you can't see it. See, yeah, nothing's, is it maxing out my, what I want to figure out is it maxing out, oh yeah, it's maxed out my GPU memory. That's when it starts getting jittery like this. I have 12 gigabytes of memory, and once it's slammed up to 12 gigabytes, it gets kind of jerky. Hopefully we'll be able to figure that out. I just need to reduce some settings on my graphics. All right, we're gonna start the other engine, I believe, right? So where is that thingy? It's here. Well, okay. Hold on a second here. Right. Look at. Okay, engine left. Hello. Oh, this is really getting slow. Oof. We may have to. I don't know. We may have to restart. It's a thing. All right. The other engine is starting up. Actually, they're started up, I believe. All right. Let's just pretend they both started up. Okay. Yeah. Okay, hold on. We're gonna do these. Generator control switch. Right. Must be. These are on. Hello. Oof. The lag has become kind of unusable. These are all on. These need to be on auto. So that there's air conditioning. Isolation valve is open. Actually, it should be on auto. Engine bleed air. It should be on, and then these should be off. APU bleed off. APU powers should be set to off at this point, although I don't think it was providing any power. Right? I don't really understand how this works. What's in here? Bus transfer auto. Okay. I'm just learning some of this stuff. All right, let's get rid of this. Bring this up. See if we can fly around a bit. I mean, while we started it and while we've got the windshield wipers working for a change, it's probably going to say, "Oh, you need a weather exception," which we'll ask for. It'll give us. No, they're fine with it. All right, let's get some power to these engines. Oh, they're going. We're moving. We're actually moving. Can steer, can move. Acknowledge taxi clearance. Oh, this way. This way. So it looks like from here. All right, we're going to turn the windshield wipers on a little bit more. We're going to go from intermittent to normal. Now that I know where they are, I'm going to make this sharp turn before we give us a little more gas here. But yeah, these are this is the effect of water, you know, on the ground. That is actually really dramatic, and it's very realistic. It's, you know, if you've ever seen real planes operate, you know, on a wet runway, there huge amounts of gouts of water come up from the ground. And we got a little slipping because it's wet. All right, windshield wipers to normal speed. There they go, normal speed. If we need to, we're going to zip them to fast right before takeoff because we're going to get a lot of water on the windscreen here. All right, we're taking off from Renton. We're going to check out downtown Seattle. It's going to be, I don't even know if there's going to be even any seeing of much of anything from this altitude and in this weather, but that's why we're flying it. It's just kind of a thing I wanted to do. And it's certainly going to be nicer than Seoul, Korea, which has basically nothing. I mean, Seattle is highly detailed. Here's our Alaska Air 37. It's kind of realistic how there's like different amounts of like little ground fog and stuff on the jetway on the ground here. Okay, we're almost at the bottom of our. I can't hit this, are we? Stay on this side here. We're fine. Okay, hit this plane, are we? Yeah, we're fine. Plenty of room. Plenty of room. Alright, braking, full braking, right? Full braking, engines down. What's going on here? That's full braking? Holy cow. It's fine. We'll just be on the grass a little bit here. Boy, the turning radius of these things is pretty intense. All right, flaps down a bit, or to here, right? That's flaps. Turn the tower. Request takeoff clearance.
Renton Tower, KNSH9er.
That's what it looks like from here. All right, wipers to full. Again, I'm doing this just to be dramatic. There we go. Wipers to full speed.
Altimeter 2 straight out departure approved. Cleared for takeoff runway tree 4.
All right, it's a wet takeoff, but I don't think it'll be a problem. Everyone strap in, people.
Cleared for takeoff.
I know what I'm doing on the 737. Yeah, it's just not, the performance is not great. But we'll muddle through. I think it'll be better once we get in the air, but we'll have to find out. All right, and we're ready to take off. That's full power. Get rid of this here. Oops. Get rid of this here. But you can see, I don't know how helpful the wipers are, because once you get a certain amount of speed, okay, we're at 100, we're at 110, at 130 is rotation. 114, 140, yeah, we're at 140. We're going to rotate here. Just fly around a bit. Gear up. Yeah, sorry for the jerkiness. I'm seeing it too. Gear's coming up. Flaps are coming up. You know, the other thing I was saying, that I was watching my show the other day, you know, yesterday, right? When I was flying the 737 MAX. By the way, do you have to push this button here?
My airspace frequency change approved.
Yeah, we're fine.
Renton Tower, KNSH9er, frequency change.
So we could actually probably turn the windshield wipers off, and it's not going to be noticeable. Oops. Windshield wipers off. Yeah, see, it was raining over there. It's kind of cool. It's nicer over here. This is Lake Washington, maybe. And I guess it'll actually be nice. Kind of. It looks like it's a little rainy over there where Seattle is. We're going to fly over Seattle. So I was talking about how flexible the wings are, which they are on the 737. But I was like, oh yeah, they're carbon fiber. That's why they flex so much. That's a 787. I got really confused about a whole bunch of things and was talking like I know what I'm talking about. I love these are floating bridges, by the way. When I lived there, they only had the one, and then they added the second one. It's kind of got a nice yacht activity going on there. So I was like, and they do flex, and they flex very realistically. But this is 737. I think the wings are made of aluminum, like all 737s. 787s have the composite wings, and they flex a lot more. And I actually have a 787 in the game, so I could show that effect of how the 87's wings really flex. I mean, the 737's wings do flex quite a bit. And they're designed to, you know, that's how they are. They're flexible, made out of metal. But the carbon fiber ones flex a lot more. There's your downtown Seattle. They're right there. It's a really dense city. I mean, in population, it's a lot of people live. Up here is the Space Needle. So when you're at the Space Needle, you know you're over the center there. You know, where the so they got the Museum of Pop Culture there. Ooh, I got some good visitors from Streamview. You know, I don't really need visitors, but you know, thanks anyway. And that is a Frank Gehry building. Okay, look, I've been in that one. I've also been to Space Needle too. I have a friend who lives up on Queen Anne Hill. That's this hill up here. And then the other side of Queen Anne Hill. Don't fly your 737 like this in the real world. This is Lake Union. And Gasworks Park is right there. It's a really cool little park. It's right there. And then I used to live basically right here, right there, under the plane right there. When I lived in Seattle for about 5 years. This is Green Lake, which is also a really pretty area. And it's near the zoo. The zoo is right here. That's the zoo. Woodland Park, and then the Woodland Park Zoo. That's what it's called there. And there's just, you know, Green Lake is really nice. And then there's like a whole path that goes around it. You can jog. I think you can bicycle around it. And, you know, it's really nice. And if we head out west, we'll go to Ballard. Ballard's where a lot of craft brews are. I like some of these buildings here, too. I like all the buildings. You know, very detailed. We'll head down to actual city of Seattle, too. So the wipers are off. We don't need them anymore. Plane is performing quite well, as far as I could tell. And I'm just happy that I did figure out where those windshield wipers are. Because I was like, they gotta be somewhere obvious. Boy, they were. So is this Shoal Bay? No, I don't know. I don't remember what this is. I think this is, Shoal Bay. It says Shoal Bay. All right, so that is Shoal Bay. Then this is the locks here, but I can't really turn tight enough to get in here. Over there. And, you know, so there are these locks because I believe the ocean is a lower level than the freshwater lakes there, I believe. I'm not sure about that, but I think so. I don't know about that. One or the other. Yeah, we're just getting we'll fly over to the East Bay. That's where Microsoft started, and that's where I worked over there in the old days. This was the 80s. It looked like this in general, but it was definitely less tall buildings. All right, we're going to fly over the Seattle Center is what it's called here. There's an arena there. That's where I saw all sorts of musicians play, and that's where the hockey people play. And then let's just try to flex our wings and fly over the city of Seattle, because research uses, I get this. I understand why I'm getting that message. It's because I need a graphics card that has more than 12 gigabytes of RAM to do this. Now, modern graphics cards like the 50 series often have 16, but I want to get one that has at least 24 if I'm going to upgrade, meaning double the current amount of graphics. And that's going to cost some serious money. So I'm basically saving up for a new graphics card that has more than 12 gig. And you see, once you kind of get into the air, and it's pretty smooth. It's starting to smooth out. So, I mean, it's a temporary issue, but yeah, I'm definitely pushing the graphics, the limitations of a 12 gigabyte graphics card. So this is the point floating bridge. We called it the floating point bridge, but that's something. And then all the rich people in Seattle live over here, like Bill Gates and everybody. There's these little kind of sections as you can kind of see how they form these weird kind of sort of islands, but they're connected. And there's 3 of them, and the rich people live down there. We're flying over them right now. And I mean really rich. The Seattle rich are pretty damn rich. And finally this one. There's that one. There's 1, 2, and 3, like these 3 fingers. Those are the 3 fingers of the rich people of Seattle. All right, and then we head down here. We'll go to Bellevue, Washington, which is this way here. Bellevue was also kind of a tiny burg when I was, not a tiny burg, but it was not as impressively built up. Oh, I think we might get hit in the ground here. This is definitely not a smart way to fly your 730. I'm not going to sink, sir, as long as you don't sink. Yeah, so this is Bellevue, Washington right here. I mean, it's, you know, it is what it is. It's basically like the east, in San Francisco, the equivalent of Oakland in a way, you know. But a lot of people live in Bellevue. It's a nice place. Definitely kind of high end. And then people live all over. Yeah, see, as soon as we flew over that city, it's like, you ran into your 12 gigabyte memory limit, which is what it should say. But let's see, when we did live in the East Bay, I lived kind of out here. This up here says Microsoft Advanta, which I think is maybe, this is a Microsoft campus out here, although Microsoft was never out here. They were further north when I was there. But I think they're all over this area now. Like probably 99, 80% of these buildings might be Microsoft related. But yeah, this says Advanta. That might be a health-related thing. I don't know what Advanta is. But the actual Microsoft campus, I think, is up this way. It's really at the top of this lake, Lake Sammamish. So let's head up Lake Sammamish. A lot of Indian name things up here. And again, they always have these long, kind of snaky north-south orientations, and that's because they're glacial. They're formed by receding glaciers, like many features on the West Coast. Oh, look, there's a golf course right here. It's like a whole country club. It's very green. I mean, there's a lot of rain, so that's why it's so green. I mean, it's June, and this is realistic weather, I believe. No, we turned realistic weather off. But what if we turned it on now? Now, just since we got our rain effects. Let's go back to live weather. Yeah, live weather is pretty similar. Plenty of overcast, and it is June. Yeah, I thought that most of Microsoft was kind of up here somewhere, like this area, like these buildings, but maybe not. Maybe it's more like over here. What's this one say? South Cove. Like I thought this was kind of the campus, somewhere around here. It's hard to tell. A lot of these look like high-tech campuses, but they may or may not be Microsoft related, but a lot of them are. And so, yeah, I think Kirkland is up here. All right, we're landing this thing. I've had enough. I've had enough flying the I've had the joy of flying the 737 MAX. I mean, it is fun, in a sense. And I mean, the instrument, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff going on here, weather instruments and things like that I'm not really taking advantage of. All right, so we're gonna land down at Renton Municipal, where we took off from. So the first thing we're gonna do, because you really need to for this plane to land successfully, is adjust the fuel load, which is under mass and balance, fuel. Because you really not really supposed to be able to land safely with more than 25% fuel load, which is fine. Well, you can, but it's bad on the gear. Okay, so we're going to head down, and basically Renton, we know Renton is the south of Lake Washington, which is this one, this lake, the bigger one. All right, which one is it? Is it this one? There's also Boeing Field, which I don't want to land at. Let's see if I can figure out which it is. There's a bunch of airports around here. Let's see. Flight planner. Zoom out, please. Yeah, this is the one. KRNT is where I want to land. So we're going to go over. It's not Whidbey Island. I keep forgetting what the name of this island is. Anyway. I never spent much time on this island. And landed at Renton Memorial, or whatever it is, Municipal Memorial. Same difference. Alright, so that means we want to start getting ready. Put some flaps down, probably slow things down a bit here with the engines. Get some speed brakes so that we can slow down quite a bit here. Stick shaker came out because of my gear down. Gear's coming down. We want to maintain over 170. Flaps down a little bit more. You can see the flaps coming down. Are they not coming down? Are the flaps coming down or not? I do not see flaps coming down. It takes them a while. They are slow. They are eventually coming down. They're very slow, but that's normal. All right, where is our runway? All right, we're approaching the runway. It's our speed 150. That's a little slow. Give us some more gas.
1,000.
We're a little to the left of the runway, so we're going to make a right turn. What's our speed? 160. That's good. We're a little high up. Coming in for a landing. A little slower. Coming in right over the water. Full reversers. Here, as you can see, the engine reversers on. We stopped quite quickly in this plane. I'm never worried about running out of the gear. I mean, but with all the aerodynamic effects, regular brakes, and full engine reversing, anytime you get on the ground, you don't have to worry about stopping. There's brakes in, flaps up. Flaps are starting to come up here. Transition to just regular wheel brakes, which aren't that powerful, but will get you stopped eventually. We're going to head over this side here. And we had a fun little flight. We're going to fly something else. Lots of buttons and switches. And again, one of the things I still need to do as a checkout is figure out the autopilot. It is quite complicated on the 37 Max. I wonder if it's going to take us into a gate. Let's find out. Now that we're on the ground, it's giving us that 12 gigabyte limit issue, effectively. Let's just see if we can get in. I'm just curious of where this, if we follow this, where it goes. But we got plenty of time. I'm not in any hurry, so we're definitely going to fly somewhere else. Maybe the ranch, because there's plenty of planes I still have not fit through the barn, and that's just providing tons of content. Excuse me. I'm going to take the brakes a little earlier there. Doesn't steer that well. Am I supposed to get over there? I'm pretty sure that's not going to let us get on that side. Well, let's find out. I've seen these before. This is where you can kind of see there's a sharp dip there that planes are not intended to go on, and it'll say, "Oh yeah, you damaged your landing gear." Oh yeah, there's supposed to be a bridge here. I don't think I'd implement it. Let's just see what happens. You can see the plane kind of struggling to get through that little ditch there. In the real world, I'm sure there's an actual bridge. Okay, we're gonna try to avoid this 330. Just for fun. Although it's not going to actually let us hit it. Yeah, okay, it's just putting us out in the middle of nowhere. And what are these structures? I mean, maybe those are, I don't know. I don't think that's right. Right where you're supposed to put your wings. See if I can get this guy to yeah, so I hit that thing. That thing that shouldn't be there. It's like a building. That's just crazy stuff. I love it. All right, moving on to the next flight. As I say, every time we do this, boy, it's. I'm gonna check our. I'm gonna check my graphic settings. Let's do that real quick. Maybe we can turn something down a little bit. Global rendering quality. Okay, what do we got here? Pre-caching. Well, we're gonna set that to high. That was actually that's a big one. We do want that though. It should be fine. I don't care. I mean, it was fine. All right, different plane, different kind of vibe entirely, for sure. What haven't we flown through the barn? I think it might be wild. You know, that fits. I think the Curtis Warhawk will fit. I mean, it's pretty. Yeah, it's kind of big. I mean, some of the smaller planes are still pretty big. The DV-20. I don't know if we tried it or not, but I have a feeling this one will fit through the barn. It's definitely pretty small. So let's just check out what the different liveries are. We got basically not a lot of choices because it comes in, you know, the boring ones, Aviators Club, and then this fun wild one. We'll do the fun wild one. And this, the default content is for me basically go to the ranch, start from our little runway, our little grass runway. By the way, cheers, I got plenty of Diet Coke left, by the way. That's some fresh Diet Coke. Oh my lord. That is some tasty Diet Coke. Yeah, it tastes bad. I don't even know what it tastes like. All right, let's move on. Beautiful day in Canada. I think I remember. Yeah, I re-enabled live weather. I'm gonna double check that. Right. So live weather is on. It's a beautiful day at the ranch in Wyoming. We're at 6,800 feet on the ground, which is crazy. How's our plane operating? Oh, we got to do this. Okay, what's this here? Mixture. Okay, that's propeller control. Don't have a mixture control. What are these things here? Parking brake, engine choke, honey. Okay, we don't. All right, so we get this to full. Remove the parking brake. Yeah, everything is set. This is a pretty small plane. It does sound like a lawnmower engine. Hopefully we'll get some speed going. But as I pointed out every single time we fly here, it seems like planes that normally just pop off the ground with no problem need a lot more runway here because we're so high up off the ground. And that affects the piston engine's ability to produce power, as well as the wing's ability to produce lift. It's not like it's not going to fly, but you think it's going to fly a lot before it actually is going to fly. And then it is going to fly. Don't worry about it. All right, flaps up. I think it's going to fly. That's full power. And it's about to stall. Maybe not. There we go. All right. Boy, that is really struggling to stay up in the air. We're going to make a nice slow turn to get to our lineup here. I don't know. Okay, the ranch is back that way, but we're going to have to make a very slow turn because the reason why is as the wings leave the level angle, they also produce a lot less lift, and we need all the lift we can get just to stay up in the air. We're only going 50 knots, and that's pretty much full out, right? From what I can tell. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we're at 7,000 feet. A lot of these planes, this is not a pressurized plane. They really do struggle even above 6,000 feet. Because they're just not intended. They wouldn't be normally comfortable to be flying at that altitude. But we're already at 1,600 feet. So, yeah, 7,000 feet is only 300 feet off the ground. All right, let's fly over the ranch. We're going to line up for the barn. We're going to do it from the inside for the first time. Oh, yeah, I got my recorder. Got to get into the habit of getting my recorder. Record. I'm not quite ready to record yet, though. All right, let's see if we can get into the barn. And at low enough level. Kind of have to, okay, record. See if this is a good one. Struggling to keep it down. And back up. And the cool thing is that now we'll be able to turn off the recording and do a playback. And this time we can see from the outside exactly how that looked. It's basically just replaying my control inputs. So we can see how we did. That was pretty good, really. We can see how well we do. We can do this as many times as we want. We can check out different angles. Here's this angle here. This angle is probably pretty good. Kind of want to see. Well, we can't really see because we won't see the inside there. How close we were. Let's try this. Let's try just like the front angle here. Okay, we'll reset here. Automatically 17-second recording here. And the only thing I want to make sure is we don't hit the ground. We barely got over that fence. Ooh, look at that. I would say this thing has the plane's wings wagged a little bit, which I felt right through the barn. Which I wonder if that's an actual aerodynamic effect or just a bug. You can kind of see here that the plane, as it goes through right in through the barn, the wings go like this. And I really felt that there, and I'm not sure what that was from, whether that's realistic or not. All right. And then we can pick the sky camera. That's this one here. I'm not sure why they call it the sky camera. It's more of a front of the nose camera. And you can see that wiggle in the camera too. All right, let's go back to live. Take plane control. Well, oops. Whee. Once you've done it a few times, it becomes kind of easy. And I'm starting to get good at this. I mean, specifically getting through the barn. All right, let's try the other direction. Here's a farmhouse. Or ranch house, I guess you call it. Ranch, it's not really farm. Ranch house. And then they got these great irrigation systems, which you know, they're working. They're going in circles there, keeping things green. You hear that sound, that means the plane's about to stall out. It's not a good thing. That little whiny sound. That's not me whining. It's the plane going, no! Okay, we're going to record. And we're going to see how we do for the recording. I hit something. Alright, so we can see exactly what happened, too. I can see, you know, I think I hit the upper. I had to turn too sharp, so I hit the left wing on the top there. You'll see this. It's hard to tell exactly where I hit there. Let's see if we can see from here. I don't know if I really did hit anything. Yeah, it seemed that was a little excessive in my opinion. Let's try it one more time. Yeah, that was no problem. But I wasn't recording that time. Alright, here's my ranch. I like my ranch. My ranch is cool. I bought it. I think I paid $13 for it. A great content edition. All sorts of stuff going on. I got like cattle, horses. I got ranch dogs. Oh yeah, and then up here, oh, that wasn't good. Smash. All right, let's go up here. I don't know. This plane is definitely, like most kind of low-end piston planes, is just barely got the oomph to fly around this area. We're gonna go land up. Yeah, we're gonna land up. Where my pals are. They're doing some aviation camping up here. So here's the ranch. Up there is Cokeville, and this is a real place. There's the ranch. Okay, the Circle B is right there. But if you go down here a ways, you can find a little oasis spot where there's some people doing some what I call aviation camping. Meaning they flew in and they're camping there, and then with their camping gear. Like you fly to a spot where you can't normally get to via vehicle, which is kind of wild. I don't know if it's a good idea, but it's what they do for camping purposes. If we go up here on this ridge, we could probably land on this ridge up here, actually, which is kind of cool. It's just below this this ridge. This flat area. It's kind of on the other side of this ridge here. It's pretty close. I've been there a bunch of times. Hello. Well, I'm struggling to get over 8,000 feet, that's for sure. Hello. That's full power. This plane is not. It's like losing oomph. Why is it losing oomph? Give me full whatever you need. I got all the levers to the forward position. Yeah. That's all the oomph it's got. That's all the oomph it's got. Well, it gave us some altitude, but yeah. Anyway, this is the little area here where they're camping. Kind of see here. I'm not exactly sure where you're supposed to actually fly your plane. You'll see as we get closer, there's some tents. We're going too fast. That's fine. Kind of plane. Stuff like that's right there. All right, we're going in there. Taking off from here may not be a thing, but landing shouldn't be too hard. But yeah, wow, this plane's heavily underpowered for operating at these above 7,000 feet. Okay, we're going to try to make a turn here, but it's very dangerous because the plane is almost going to stall at just about any speed here. You know, that's their stall warning. All right, let's see if we can land. So we kind of want to land up there with the... where these people are, so we can say hi, see how they're doing. We're going way too fast. Well, now we're going way too fast. That was really kind of, wasn't expecting that. All right, we'll go up here. We can land up here too. There's a lot of places where you could probably land. Here, maybe. I'm not really heading towards where I want to head, but I'm having trouble figuring out how to land this plane. We're going to keep trying. We'll keep trying. I'll figure it out. Okay, that's where I want to be. We're going to go down here. We're going to... The problem is, I think, is I'm obviously, well, besides not being able to, you know, not compensating for being able to lose altitude and lose speed. This is very fast for this plane. And I should be able to do this and make a sharp turn. And that's where I want to land. But now we've got to burn off all this altitude. So we're going to try to burn it off a little more quickly. Flaps are at full. I mean, it would have been a good landing if I didn't run into the trees. And this plane just really seems to want to kind of glide a little much more. Like, I was still going way too fast. There's no brakes. You just got to use the plane's wings as brakes. Yeah, again, like the same thing, same issue. All right, let's try this again. I'm learning. We're going to go back much further. We'll go back to the second one. And then it stalls. I don't know what. This plane is really acting weird. I mean, I like it, but I don't know what to say. I'm wondering if there's a issue with the flight model. Because, you know, I don't fly this plane too much. I wonder if it's... Man, I don't know. I don't say. Okay, we'll go out to the second one. This is the second watering hole. The first watering hole that we want to go to is back there. We keep misjudging the turn and not even coming close to getting on the ground where I want to. Every single time. So we're going to go way back here. Past the second watering hole. That's where we'll make our turn. We're going really fast, but that's fine. Because we're not going to stall out. Okay, we're 1,000,000 miles away from where we need to land. Start putting the flaps down already. And you can barely see where I want to go. It's so far off in the distance. And then let's reduce engine power here. Reduce RPM. What's down there? Like a moose. Alright. Okay, we're at 80. We want to land right around 40. So what I was just noticing is that it takes forever for this plane to burn off speed. Still going really fast. Yeah, at least we're a little slower than we were before. But still way too fast to land. See, I don't understand why it's not burning off any speed. It's still flying. I mean, it's still flying. One more time. All right. This way. I'll figure it out. All right. Go down here. There's the first watering hole. This is where our target is. The part of the issue is there's an illusion, which is what you don't understand is this path is downhill. So I'm actually flying downhill, and that causes the plane to not want to slow down. And so it's a very, very tough landing that way. We should probably try a non-downhill landing, which would be a little to the side. Now, it's not directly that direction, but kind of heading a little uphill, rather than kind of following the path of that terrain, which is downhill. I think that's what my problem was. Well, I don't know. We'll find out. All right, here's the second watering hole. We're going to make a left turn here, which is why I'm coming to the right of it. All right. Yes, that, now that I kind of understand why, there's no way you can slow down. Because you're going downhill. You just have to face uphill. It's like skiing. You can't really, and it's kind of an illusion here. You can't really see how this is very steep downhill, this direction. It's really, really hard to stop. So what we're going to do is kind of come to the left and then go up to the right, rather than trying to land this direction. It's very steep downhill. I mean, this is kind of slightly uphill, right? Maybe not. Yeah, even this is, we're still way too fast. Wow. All right, let's try again. The weird thing is that the engine power doesn't really provide a lot of power, but you're not getting any braking. Is what you're not getting. What this plane needs is some kind of air brakes, or reverse per pitch or something like that. But it doesn't. It's a very simple plane. It's actually, I think, easier to land over here, ahead of that place, because you can kind of see it. It's downhill to here, and then it goes uphill up that direction. So I'm just kind of planning how we want to land. I think we want to go up this way, and then land. You see how steep downhill this is, though. So you can't really slow down when you're trying to go down this little steep section here. I could slow down if I wanted to go uphill, but I don't. I want to head towards that oasis, which is really in kind of a bowl. All right, we're going 90. We're going to make a nice turn here. This time it's going to work. Put our flaps down now. The engine's down now. That's our speed really fast again. But this time I'm going to kind of go up to the left here, because I know that's uphill eventually. Here. I don't think we could directly land in that little bowl area here, but maybe here we could. Still going kind of fast, but definitely slower. Yeah, see, we'll probably land on this little dirt path here, no problem, right? That's the first time I landed up here in this plane. It's surprisingly challenging. All right, but at least we can drive over there. But we landed on that little dirt path, which is kind of cool. I actually think that's probably a good place to try to land. I'm not sure I intentionally, but it's hard to tell. But this is just really steep, a relatively steep downhill path. But it's because of the way it looks flat, it's deceptive. All right, let's see how these guys are doing today. But then we're gonna do some big brain games, I think. Why not? Here we are. There's always 3 of them. There's 2 tents. Sometimes the tents are different colors, but I think they are usually the same. Hi guys, how you guys been doing? Get out of the plane, say hi, be nice neighbors. There's our plane, the Kench 909er, you know, toys. It's their plane, which looks really cool, but it's not actually flyable in game, as far as I know. Then you got these guys. It's always 2 different models. I've never seen them before. Interesting. They're having a conversation about something. And this lady, this country lady here, who is always here, very pretty, by the way. Very nice looking country lady. Always here. We like to see her. And they're sitting hanging out and doing a little camping. I don't know if you could drink the water. I would not want to necessarily drink this water. It's not flowing. You know what I mean? I would drink a river water before I drink a water out of a hole. All right, back in the plane. All right. Actually, can we still fly somewhere? Let's see if we can take off. Like if we did this, kind of went back along this path here, far enough, would we eventually get in the air? Maybe we could land down in my, back down at the ranch. I mean, realistically, that path is full of rocks and you wouldn't be able to do it. Is that full? Kind of in the air. I don't know why it, like, before it didn't want to land and now it doesn't want to take off. That's the issue, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand why the aerodynamics of the plane seems so random. There's absolutely no reason why it shouldn't be flying here. It's just kind of barely flying. Not today. We're going to take a break from Skibbity Toy today. You know, yesterday, though, I did watch... see if we can take off from this little hill here. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with this plane. It's not really fun to fly at this altitude. Not today. You know, I watched the first 4 minutes again, though, yesterday, and I really liked... You know, I talked about how... I think it's very... The first 4 minutes are really good. Actually, after I watched them again, I was even more impressed. Or maybe, you know, the first 20 minutes, there's no talking. It's very visual. You know, it's kind of ominous. I kind of forgot that there are people right from the beginning involved. You know, you have to make a lot of jump to your own conclusions. And also, I like that they're all, you know, at the beginning they're all singing, you know. They're singing that weird song, the Skibbity Toilets. And I love that. I love that they're singing and they seem really happy, you know. And that doesn't really translate to the second, you know, to the later 2/3 of the show. There's just a lot of little interesting details that kind of got lost. Yeah, I don't know what is up with this plane. Whether hard to say. I think there's something a little broken about the aerodynamic model. I'm not sure what. What is this control even supposed to do, by the way? That's propeller. Throttle, anti-ice engine. That I wouldn't want to carry. I don't think I care about that. Oh. All right, we're gonna land at the little grass strip here, dirt strip. And that'll be it for what ifs. Okay, well, I'll look into that maybe tomorrow. But you know, we're having a good time flying around. We got through the barn a couple times. That's actually not a challenge. But taking off and landing are certainly a challenge for whatever reason. Again, I'm a little scared about landing this plane that it will have a lot of problems losing speed. It's almost like it gets slicker when the flaps are down, and I think that's kind of a bug. Okay, I'm gonna reduce power even more. Yeah, we are waiting for 79 Part 2, which might be a couple more weeks, I think. We go down to this little copse of trees in this little lake here, and then we're going to make our turn to get a line up here for our little dirt landing strip here, which is right over here. but it's coming up. Use this little road here as a lineup. That's our speed 60. That's not too bad. It looks like from here. Coming in kind of fast as I expected. Reducing power. Coming over the barrel. It's about as good a landing as I'm going to get here in this plane, I believe. A little bit to the right, but it's fine. Dirt popping off. That's fun, though. I had a good time landing this plane, at least. Here I did. I mean, it was rough to try to land it up there at the middle of nowhere. Oh, plus it looks like we have some wind in the wrong direction today. But yeah, this is not my... If I had to buy a light plane, or I wanted to, this wouldn't be my first choice. They're probably quite inexpensive compared to, you know, a lot of planes. But this would definitely be a sport light class, ultra light sport class plane, which is a relatively easy to get a pilot's license for. You just can't charge money for flying people around, not commercial. But they got. I love this barn. We see it. We see it every time. We're not seeing it this time. All right, moving on to the next part of the content for today. And boy, though, if you know, it's gonna be more streams. Today's Friday. There's gonna be stream tomorrow. There's gonna be the stream day after, and the day after that. Right? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all stream days. Doing the same thing pretty much. But we not. I at this point, I think I can promise we're not going to get into a 737 for a while. Maybe we'll get into 787 though. Pretty sure I have that. Just for, you know, we gotta fly them all for a change, you know. All right, let me just take out, get a little quick screeny here. Beautiful day in Wyoming. I want to get the plane here. We want to get the backdrop there. Something shows some nice detailing here. And a little bit of background. That is what I want to see. Perfecto. Get a little screenshot action here. Very nice. There we go. All right. So that represents the Microsoft Flight Simulator simulating. Anyway, but yeah, tomorrow maybe we should look for Skibbity Toilet What Ifs and see what comes up on YouTube. But today I'm just going to go right to the brain games. Let me go here. We're going to move to the just chatting category for this section. I will be moving to music shortly though. It is a keyboard day. Let me get out of this. Main menu. Quit out of Flight Simulator. I'm glad it worked today. It gave me this weird message about syncing to the cloud. I don't know what that means. All right. Bring this up here. By the way, I never posted that, did I? Go to my Quirtle. Bring this up here. That's fine. I don't care. Guitar, gaming with Cam. There we go. Gaming. All right, we're gonna do some big brain games. Those are what I do. Play like about 10. It takes about 10, 12 minutes. I play these Quirtles, which is like a Wordle, except you do 4 at a time. I do this Revelation game. There's a tightrope trivia quiz with 9 questions, and then we do a bunch of Octortals, and that's good. That's the big brain games that I currently do. But I've been doing them for a long time, for years, so I like to think I'm pretty good at them. Oops. I have 3 starting words I use for the 5-letter games. Noisy, Play, and Crumb, and they've served me very well over quite a few years in terms of being able to figure out the word. B-R-A-I-D on the upper left, I'm thinking. Oh, good, and that D was very helpful. This could be Dully, D-U-L-L-Y, is that a word? I think it is a word. Okay, now we have, this has got to be lurid on the lower right? Got all the letters for it. And left one, that's going to be hard. All we know is an S-A, and the A is not kind of there. So it could be haste, H-A-S-T-E. Could be waste as well. But we guessed right, it was haste. All right, moving on. The next game we do is the Quirtle Extreme. Very similar. Got to get these done quickly, except fewer guesses and harder words, but I always get it. I always win these. Don't step up to me in Quirtle. All right, let's see. What do we have here? Ends in Y. This could be muddy or muggy. Could be a bunch of things on the lower right. Let's see. We could have... Interesting that the A is not in the middle in the upper left. So... LSTA? No. I don't know what that is going to be. We'll figure it out, though. This one's going to be easier upper right, I think. Because we have all 5 letters now. And so what is there? So that could be... T-E-A, and then there's a N and a C, so can't be that. I think it's enact, right? A-N-A-C-T. Okay. We still could be muddy or muggy. Let's see. We have an E and a U to play, so that's it. It could be It's not undo. But I'm going to guess it anyway. What is it? Okay, that helped. So now we may think it's probably muddy on the lower right. Let's just grab that. We got to get these if we want to win. I don't care. These are hard. Okay, A-U-N, and there's an E to place, and then a D to place. It could be unwed, right? Yeah, I think it could be. Oops, it wasn't unwed. Could have been unwed. It's unfed, perhaps. All right, well, we didn't win that today. We didn't get Atlas upper left. Could we? Yeah, I think we'd eventually got Atlas. Yeah, tough one, though. All right, we're going to do the reveal next. It's a fun game, I guess. I don't know. I've been enjoying it. It's where you get a clue or a category, science and tech. We got to solve this, those words in the top. I mean, to get it, we have this heavily redacted document of which we can use a certain number of reveals to get a certain number of clues here. But let's read the document first. The blank marks the blank during the blank when the blank of the blank is in the blank is farthest blank in the blank or farthest blank in the blank. At the something, the blank travels the blank through the blank, and that blank therefore has the most blank. Interesting. When the blank happens in the blank is toward the blank. North Pole. I think it's something like the something like, is it kind of like the winter solstice or something like that? Let's try winter solstice because it fits. Partially correct. Not winter solstice, but it could be the summer solstice. You can guess as many times as you want, and for free. All right, we got the summer solstice with just 2 reveals. Not bad. We got North Pole. Actually, was that just 1 reveal? Yeah, just 1 reveal. So we did really well. Other players required 6 reveals and 2 hints. 60% solved it. We're kicking ass on this game. I've saw basically 32 puzzles. We played basically, I guess, more than a month and a half now of these because I do them every day. All right, the next game I want to play is called the Tightrope Trivia. This is really the centerpiece of the brain games because I consider myself a trivia master, and therefore playing the Tightrope Trivia game is important that I do well. I mean, to me at least. It's timed, and you get 9 questions, and to get a good score, you have to get them both correct and fast. So let's get going here. Insomnia Cave and 6 of 1. That sounds like Friends. It was Naya Samba Drums. This is carnival celebrations. Gotta be Rio, right? That's known for the Carnival. Fill in the blank. One plate was a murky gray. The other was a vivid saturated orange. That's the only word that I can think of. That fits there. Geological features is the Korean magnificent ground, a geyser. Later, a 2-time Oscar winner. Who's in there scoring? Is it UCLA? Uh-oh. UCLA camp counselor. Wow, that was a lucky guess. I was a 1 out of 4. Denzel Washington. No idea. I get lucky sometimes. Writing a book contains it's the art of war. General Sun Tzu. Boop. Possible musical includes dark comedy telling that it's one of my favorite musicals by Stephen Sondheim. So I really think I ought to get that one. I love Into the Woods. In fact, I want to watch it again. Later, musicals and stings of a sea urchin. It was an anemone. Oh, I knew that. The anemone. I was almost. Why didn't I click anemone when I knew it was another? Dang it. In what movie? It was Breakfast at Tiffany's. Not My Fair Lady, which is what you might think. She didn't wear a little black dress in My Fair Lady. All right, we got 8 out of 9, and I got to forgive myself for not getting one of them right. Because, 8 out of 9 ain't bad. At least we're going to get a score today, right? Yesterday was bugged out. Walking Encyclopedia, that's 2070 points. Fine. All right, we're going to do the last games. 2 more of the games, and we're done. We're going to do a classic octotal and the rescue octotal. Because that's how we roll around here. Same 3 starting words for the classic. This is just to warm up our octorals skills. So we got 8 of these puzzles to solve. And the question of which is obvious, like snail here over here. So, lower right, we can just grab them if they're obvious. Ooh. Okay, let's keep moving along. I got some tricky ones here. This one here has a C, has an A and an L to play. So the A has to go here. So C something U L, C A U L something, or C blank U L A. Those are the only 2 choices. And I don't know. It's got to be C A something. C A U L. Oh, caulk. Okay. All right. That makes some sense. All right. Now we have all here. This is going to be. It's not amber. Umbra, maybe. I'm figuring them out. This could over on the right. I'm just going to guess lever, Lever, because that would fit. All right, I'm good at this game. Just don't worry about it. It's from years of practice. Okay, this one ends in BRE, and it has an I in it here. So it's going to be fibre, F-I-B-R-E. Kind of a weird spelling, but that's a word. Let's see. This one here, I think we got on the left, lower left is going to be T-O-R. As a C, I think H is available. And we're moving along here. Let's see. This has an E to place and a U to place. So it could be query, Q-U-E-R-Y, right? Yeah, it's got to be. And our last one, at least for this game, then we're going to do the rescue, which is the hard one. Oh, but we don't have much. We have 3 guesses, though, so that's not going to be an issue. Let's see. There's an N over here and O. Could end in O and E, right? And in which case it could be E. Ozone. We win. Ozone it was. All right, the next one and the last one before we move on to the musical portion of the game. We'll do some more skibbity toilet, though. Is the rescue. The rescue is a standard octordal, 8 ones to solve. Except you don't get to pick your starting words, which makes it a very different indeed. Now, for example, none of the words have an E in it, so there might be an E. We don't know. But some of these words, let's see. This one here is just got to be annoy. H-A. Some of them are going to be super obvious. A-N-N-O-Y, because nothing else is going to fit in that other position except another N. And another one here. This one here, S-T-O something Y, has got to be story, right? S-T-O-R-Y, I think. Yeah. That's good because the R is a very common letter that we needed. Let's see what we hear. S-N-I, and then it could be anything. Let's try snipe, S-N-I-P-E, because even if it's wrong, it gives us some letters that we need. Oh, yes, it was right. I like it. Let's see. This one here could be S-C-U something. No, it can't be scurvy. Oh, here, lower left. I-T-E, and there's an R. So it could be right, W-I-T-E. It could be a couple of other things. Yeah. Oh, it's fine. The W, let's see, what could it have been? Trite, T-R-I-T-E, right? Yeah, it has to be trite, so let's just put it down. I don't see any other 5-letter words. We can still win, but you got to get them all from here on out. That's always hard. This one here, his has an S, and we know it goes in one of these places. So it's A blank I-S-C. And that, I don't think anything. So it has to be A-S-I blank E. So I'm thinking aside, right? What could be anything else? I don't think so. All right, that was good because the D is useful. Now in this left one here, we have a B, T, D, E, and U. So we have all of the letters on the left, but can we figure out what the word is? We know it ends in T. I think it's debut, D-E-B-U-T. All the letters can go in those positions. Yeah, I like it. All righty. Okay, we got 2 left, and then we can go to the musical, take our break, go to the musical category. Let me have some Diet Coke. This is not timed. So now we have something where we have an ETR in the middle, but we also have an O to place. It's got to go at the end, right? Yeah. So it's ETRO. And I'm thinking it's Metro, M-E-T-R-O. Metro, T-R-O. Metro, right? It's got to be Metro. It wasn't Metro. Oof. It didn't have to be Metro. It could have been obviously something else. What was it though? Retro. It could have been Metro, but it's retro with an R. What's this one up here? By the way, that means we're not going to get today's, which is good because I like that it's hard. Let's see. We now have This all the letters here, so it's gonna be Scrum, SCRUM, upper right. But yeah, we knew it was retro, but we didn't get enough guesses, so technically that's a loss. All right, I am going to take a short break to drag my piano in here. I'm sitting over there, but it's got to be set up over here. It takes me a few minutes. Got to plug everything in. Got to move shit around. Let's go into the musical category for right now, because I will be there. And then I'm going to start my little mid-roll here. Okay, we're in the music category. And then hopefully by the time the mid-roll does its thing, I will be ready to play some music for you. Get this set up, y'all. Where I like it. That's not where I like it. Where do I like it? A little higher up. And a little more. Yeah, there we go. Perfecto. All right, welcome back to the musical portion of the show. We always have a musical portion. Sometimes it's me playing the guitar, and sometimes it's me playing the piano, and the difference is that it alternates on a daily basis. Reverb. In case I decide to sing, there'll be some reverb later, but I won't be talking too much, so it won't be too intrusive. Let's see. Dot, Gonna warm up a little bit here. Oops. It's hard. I wrote this too. Price it. It's called Frenchie's Cafe. I wrote that too. It's really cute. It's a cute little song. You know, I was listening to my friend Milo the other day. She was singing Peaches. By Presidents of the United States of America. I love that song. I'm moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. I'm moving to the country, gonna eat me a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat me a lot of peaches. Peaches come from a can, they were put there by a man in a factory downtown. If I had my little way, well, I'd eat peaches every day. Sun-soaking bulges in the shade. Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat me a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat a lot of peaches. Moving to the country, gonna eat me a lot of peaches. I took a nap where the roots all twist. I squished a rotten peach in my fist, and I dreamed about you, woman. I poked my finger down inside to make a little room for an ant to hide. Well, nature's candy in my hand, or can, or pie. Millions of peaches for me. Millions of peaches for free. Millions of peaches for me. Millions of peaches for free. Peaches. All right, let's get to the lounge act. By the way, what is a lounge? Ken's lounge act? What does that mean? It doesn't mean too much. It just basically means I have this list of songs here. And I don't have any other notes or music in front of me. I just have to be able to sit down in front of a keyboard and play songs. I'm on the wrong scene here. My thingy. All right. Next. Oh yeah, this is the Plane Drops of Jupiter by Train. As an instrumental. Gotta work this. I love that song. Drops of Jupiter by Train. Just all one of my all-time favorite little songs. It really not a little song. But all these are great songs. little prayer. We're gonna go skip nice to Flash. Skip nice to Flash. That's Flashdance. What a feeling. Nice little Diet Coke here. Yummy. It's a little. It's got a little tan. It's going from brown to tan. It still does the job though. Guess a song by Warren Zevon. It's called Johnny Strikes Up the Band. Warren Zevon's a godlike to me. Died a long time ago. Joyride's my little friends. Let me take you by the hand. Friday getting ready. Rock steady when Johnny strikes up the band. We'll be rocking in the projects. Walking down along the strand. Ready, getting ready. Rock steady when Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the, when Johnny strikes up the, when Johnny strikes up the band. Johnny is my main man. He's the keeper of the keys. He'll put your mind at ease. He's guaranteed to please, back by popular demand. Look around, my little friends. Jubilation fills the land. Ready, getting ready. Rock steady when Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the, when Johnny strikes up the, when Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the band. When Johnny strikes up the, when Johnny strikes up the, when Johnny strikes up the band. All right, here we go with some more songs. I'm not gonna sing. Practice a little more. That's why I do them. A lot. Kind of. I never play a song perfectly all the way through. Doesn't matter. I memorize your songs, guy. little misty for you. Kind of the centerpiece of any lounge act. If you can do it. If you can pull it off. Hold on 1 second, please. Gotta check something here. If you still have a golden Kappa train. I think it's over. Nope, I didn't. Hold on a second. I got my this is gonna take 1 second, please. 1 second. Pin. Cheer. Give me take a second here. Right, the enter key. Yeah, I cheered 100 and a golden Kappa. Need to get my golden Kappa. This is more important than streaming. All right, we're moving along. Right, Peg. Josie. It's close enough. Alrighty, got a few more songs to do. Pardon my regular lounge act. Not this one's "We've Only Just Begun" by Paul Williams. Hit for the Carpenters. One of my favorite songs, It's Only Just Begun. All right, this song is called The Morning After. It's from Superman the movie by John Williams. Okay, that's a good one too. That's what I like to do as an instrumental. gonna sing a song. It's called Secret Agent Man. I haven't had Johnny River song, but you better cough first. Yeah, that's better. We'll see. There's a man who leads a life of danger. With everyone he meets, he stays a stranger. Oh, with every move he makes, well, another chance he takes. Odds are he won't live to see tomorrow. Beware of pretty faces you may find. A pretty face can hide an evil mind. Oh, be careful what you say. Don't give yourself away. Odds on you won't live to see tomorrow. Secret agent man, secret agent man. Well, they've given you a number and they've taken away your name. They've taken away your name. Look at it, it's a agent man, secret agent man. This mysterious life you choose is a deadly game. You think it right? I don't care. I'm kind of distracted today. We'll have lots more streams. All right, a couple more instrumental songs I like to play as part of the Lounge Act. Oh, a few more songs I want to play for you guys. A little up and away for you. Let's see. I think it's the last song of the night. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind, and it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now, the rain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for, and it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue sky. And I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind, and it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. And it's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Wow. Well, that was a stream, I guess. Hold on a second here. Face cam only. Reverb off. Oh my God, that's annoying. That's much better. There's actually no reverb in this room. It's as dead as you can get, acoustically speaking. Oh, well, it's another Friday stream for the record books. I don't know what record books we're keeping here. But it is another Friday stream for the record books. Tomorrow will be a Saturday stream. They have to have a Sunday stream, and they have to have Monday stream. Monday stream will be a little shorter because I'm actually going to go to the office for the first time in a few days, as will the Wednesday stream. But yeah, it's easy to package these a little bit shorter. It's a little bit short flight, you know. Still do the brain games a little bit. Of course, next time there'll be a guitar stream. You know, next time I play guitar, which will be tomorrow, I think I will take a break from playing my new fancy cheap guitar. Look at this baby though. This is my new fancy cheap guitar. Fancy cheap guitar. And if you think like, wow, that's a cool guitar. Yeah, you're right. It's fancy. It's $300 on Amazon. You can't get them right now. They're out of the fancy models. They have some cheaper ones, these Leo James, but I wouldn't recommend the cheaper ones. I wouldn't recommend the fancy ones unless you have guitar tech skills, which I do, because it was definitely not set up correctly. All right, let's see. I'm gonna get along with the rest of my day. I'm gonna watch a whole bunch of fun streamers. I'm about to get the Golden Kappa emote for 24 hours, which I'm really excited about. I don't know if you guys know about that, but I'm a Golden Kappa hoe. I like to say in chat to people about that. All right, I'm gonna move along. We're gonna get my little outro here, ending soon. And the fun thing is tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. We're gonna do it. Okay, we had a nice 2-hour, 20-minute stream. Nobody showed up. Oh, there was a few people here to say hi. You know what I mean? Not nobody. People are here. That's fine. And I don't expect people. It's kind of a holiday. I really don't expect people to come to show up to these streams. I think the next stream that my regulars will come back on is Monday's stream, because I'm kind of a weekday, regular weekday kind of streamer for a lot of people. All right, see you next time.